It doesn't matter how good an enterprise is doing or two enterprises are doing. If they're not large enough to cover overheads and generate profit, we're going backwards.
It was the power of the tools that really started to seat in my head that this is possible to really control a business, control our own destiny. We're doing a fifth the work by changing our business model while holding our margins.
And our standards.
Good morning. Today I'm headed to Ione, Washington to visit with Ramstead Ranch to find out how they have applied the principles to their direct marketing business.
What kind of land base are you guys operating on here?
We have 240 acres deeded. We have another 40 that we share with a neighbor.
We break our proteins and our direct marketing up into individual enterprises. So we direct market beef, pork, lamb, chicken, turkey, bison.
And how many full-time equivalents for employees?
We figure we're about 8.
Full-time?
That includes the two of us.
Wow.
One of our realizations going through the school and getting into EL was we've got to scale. It doesn't matter how good an enterprise is doing or two enterprises are doing. If they're not large enough to cover overheads and generate profit, we're going backwards.
A lot of times people think turnover is just more animals through my place per year, and that is one way to do it. But you guys increase turnover by bringing in other people's animals.
That's right.
Like you couldn't physically do any more on your acreage. So your scale and your turnover happened on other people's properties now.
We do 3 markets a year, and they're our face to the public. They're also a delivery system. People order throughout the week online and can just walk up and get their bag handed to them.
So a farmer's market, there's almost an intrinsic value to it that you can't monetize, but it does feed the other ones. Like it's advertising for you.
It is.
It is.
But at this stage, our markets do pay for themselves with walk-up sales. Then they double down with delivery, like customers pre-ordering and we deliver there. And we've also turned those into, they parlay into a winter delivery route that happens all year long. So even when it's not farmers market season, those locations where we service our market customers are triple the size of the others.
What did you feel like you had to work on immediately?
So initially, it was our org chart. We put our org chart on paper and realized either Stan's name or in particular my name were on 95% of the roles of Eileen Ranch. If I get sick or if something happens to me, this business is at like total risk. You go, I'm doing such a great job. No, actually, you're endangering your company. Yeah. You're endangering your family.
To that, I would add part of the excitement for me was to really start to understand the degree to which we could have control if we could understand each enterprise, each margin. Then we could make decisions with predictable outcomes instead of hoping the market was doing something or hoping the weather didn't do something. But you can really start to understand and take responsibility for where you're going to be in a year. It was the power of the tools that really started to seat in my head and have an understanding that this is possible to really understand this and influence and control a business, control our own destiny. And we realized we needed to change our business model and get some of our production off of us.
It was really reducing the number of enterprises because we had even more going.
Were you profitable before you came in? Would you say?
No.
And now, are you getting profitable? You are profitable?
We are profitable now. We changed our business model and went to partner producers to provide certain proteins for us. We're now benefiting from as many or 1 or 2 more enterprises, but we're doing a fifth the work by changing our business model while holding our margins.
And our standards. For grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture raised, where the animals are truly out on the pasture moving forward every day.
And I'm not going to say you work less, because I think like using your brains, you guys are really like putting the effort in. But physically and time-wise, you guys are working less.
We're working less. And we're working on higher level projects, whereas before we were just in the business day in and day out.
This has allowed you to operate where you are truly talented at and
inspired by. Yep. I'm not the boss of you in that. You're the boots on the ground. You tell me what you need. You're the authority on your area of responsibility. Help me help you. And that's, once you flip that, it's just getting faster and easier all the time.